sitting here with Brown Boy.
What up, dog?
Thank you for your time, man. How you been?
Down real good, real good.
I know you busy now.
Just, you know what I mean, on the grind, hustling, trying to stay, you know what I mean, focused and stay ready for the new stuff. Everything's evolving in music, and I'm just trying to stay right with it, man.
It's 2007, dude. You got one of the biggest national records. I know it's Superman. Is it international?
We barely crossing over into Japan. We get ready to go to Japan. We set up a little tour out there, and we get ready to go to Australia, and we might be going to Germany. So we heading out that way real soon.
It's crazy because being a radio DJ, I get the phone calls. I sit back at the other end of it, and Superman was still right now, and it's been out for how long has it been out for?
Man, I'm gonna say about 5 to 6 months. It's been out for a minute.
Dude, it's still one of the biggest records right now on the phones. I mean, it's national, going international. It's on the Art LeBeau show.
Yeah, we doing it like that too, you know what I mean?
Big, dude.
It's real crazy because, you know, I mean, when we started off, I mean, I have access to the media base, and, you know, I would check the media base when it was like at 80, and it was, you know, 70, then 50, and next thing you know, the last stop, I think the peak that it hit was like 19. And if you think about it, that's without a major backing, you know, and a lot of people don't know, when they have a major backing, they're spending millions and millions of dollars on these people. So if you have $1 million, I mean, you really can move that record kind of anywhere you want. But at the same time, we have probably like the least amount of money, and then that record was still able to peak like at 19, 18 on the media base chart. Was real crazy for us, you know. It was a real blessing with that record. So
where are you originally from?
I'm originally from a small town. It's called Blythe, California. It's right down the Colorado River, man. It's just, you know, there ain't nothing really there. So, you know what I mean? I take it in, you know, like, you know, I take everything as a blessing. But to be able to come from, like, I don't want to say nothing because it's a great place to raise a family and everything like that. And I mean, it's what you make of it. But a lot of people say, you know, how does he go from living in a small town? And I was actually a teacher for 2 years there, and going from teaching to having a hit on the radio, and just like, it's a whole life-changing experience. But hey, it's what I wanted to try to get out of life. You know, I stayed hungry at this. I stayed in the, you know, a lot of people always ask me, Brown, you know, well, I'm trying to get in the game. And, you know, and I understand there's millions and millions of great rappers. And I don't consider myself just a great rapper. I just consider myself a great songwriter. You know, I know how to put songs together now. I know my little niche now. But, you know, I always say, oh, Brown's Hollywood. And I was like, I've never felt like that. I've always stood in line, you know, whether I've seen other artists where, like I said, I've been in the game where I looked up to these artists and wanted to meet them, and I seriously, I got blown off by these people. Like, right, you're a joke. You're just gonna have one song, you're gonna be out the game. And ever since that day, I was like, I'm gonna be here for a minute. But at the same time, it was like, hey, you know what I mean? I mean, they just really would diss their fans, you know what I mean? I would sit there for like 2-3 hours signing autographs. I mean, just sitting there lying, like, wow, you know, and I would be tired, but at the same time, I knew right away, I said, I'm only going to be here if my fans have me here. So as long as they keep supporting me, I can have this as my job for however long I stay true to them. So, you know what I mean? It's real, like I said, it's a blessing.
That's hot. To go back all the way back to Blythe, you went to college. Did you go to college out there?
No, I went and started to college out there, then I came out here to San Bernardino, and I started at Cal State University, San Bernardino, and then that's where I got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And then I kind of figured, like, you know, I'm just going to have a normal life. Right. I mean, I had met some people, I had put a couple kind of like underground records out, and I said, you know what, this was kind of done for me. And I went back to Blythe, and I took the CBEST test, and I started teaching, and I was getting ready to go get my whole teaching credential and everything like that. And my investor, you know, was a good friend of mine. It's Victor Hurtado, man. I mean, this dude just came at me and said, I have faith in you. You got to just quit your job and come out and do another record, because I know you can do it. And I'm like, man, I have a normal life. I had just had a little boy and everything like that. And I was like, I was living like the little family life.
Right.
And it was just so normal. And he was like, man, you got to do it. I'll take care of you. I'll pay your bills. I'll do everything for you. You just got to do another record. And I was like, man, are you sure? And he said, I'm sure. And I mean, this is where I'm at right now.
Was that a lot of pressure, dude, to leave your gig, leave, you know, what you comfortably worked for, too, to get to that point?
It was, because it was a hard choice, because you never know. It's like a gamble. The dude was investing, you know, X amount of dollars into me. And I told him, you know, this is your gamble. This is your money on the table.
Right.
If you win, you win, you lose, you lose. But if we win together. And it was a chance that I was willing to take because it was my dream. I had my moms and pops always kind of like, we can't support you unless you finish school. So I mean, I knew I had to have something to fall back on, because a lot of these guys, when the music career is done, what do? They go to construction, or to say they go working at Mickey D's or wherever they can find a job. I knew that when I was done with this, or the music was done with me, I was gonna be able to have a career outside of music, man. And I encourage all the kids too, you know what I mean, to do the same thing, because there's millions and millions of rappers and singers all the time. And I was, one of the fortunate ones to get a chance and be blessed by people like you that are giving music like mine an opportunity to be heard, And you go to my MySpace, and my saying is, I don't want to be famous, I want to be heard. I just want my music to be out there, man. People are enjoying it, and that's the biggest part, when you can go to a show with 30,000 people and they just rocking your song, you know what I mean? When that song comes on, they're just rocking right with you, word for word. So that was my dream. So I kind of lived my dream, and I guess it's still going to keep going. Never been to Japan, going to Japan in summer, Australia.
And I know, but your music is there already.
And you check out my MySpace, it had over, I think 3 to 4 million listens, every day I probably get about 7,000-8,000 plays. And then you look at my views, I got 1 million views, and it's crazy because we went and checked the downloads on iTunes, and I have about 70,000 downloads, and that's at 99 cents. And then we split that, and you do the math and everything like that, and it really works out just with that record, 70,000 Superman downloads. And the new single, Please Don't Go, is kind of how we figured, okay, well, what's going to be the new single? And we figured it out because that one just had maybe 20,000 downloads. It was never even pushed to the radio. It was just kind of on the album, it's kind of on the MySpace thing, and then you go from there and you look at it, I'm wow, this is what the fans are requesting, and this is the one we got to put out there next. So it's exactly what we did. So, new record, and we're kind of getting that same feedback. They've been putting me in the battles and stuff like that against other big time people, man, and I've been winning. So it's been, I'm just man, they kind of considering me now, okay, this dude's really doing music now.
But if you're going off the feedback too from MySpace, and you kind of getting a vibe, you get fans who hit you up, is that kind of what helps you decide?
Definitely, because they're they're the ones that made me from the jump. You know what I mean? And once they knew it and they started requesting the song, once they heard it a couple times, and it had, I don't want to say I brainwashed the fans and them, but the radio has a big part of it when you play a record and they're able to grasp it and sing along to the hook. That's kind of has that little brainwash effect where they, sometimes I hear records on the radio I don't like that, man, it's whack. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden be in the car listening to it, and you're just singing along with it because you heard it. It's not that you heard it so many times, it's that you think about it hey, it's catchy.
Something grabs you in.
Yeah. And so I was that's the type of music I'm trying to make that's just real cool and everybody can vibe to. But a lot of my stuff is from the heart. And so I think that's where a lot of people come and relate, and Please Don't Go. I hit a lot of troops out there in Iraq hitting me up, man. And much love to them, and my prayers go out to them. But I get a lot of them saying to their wives dedicate that song because, please don't go. And they're always on the road, they're always out there, man. They come home for a little bit and they back out there fighting this crazy war, man. So it's, I don't think I see myself going to Iraq trying to rap for the troops out there, but you know what I mean? But I think they really can relate to that, man. So it's been real crazy to have a record like that too, and it's just barely dropping. So I can't wait till they're out there and they're coming home and they get home and they hear that on the radio. So
for sure.